So I've been working on my daughter for about probably an hour here. And so she's 4 months old, not rolling over. And, the question is why. And I knew from birth that she would be struggling with it, okay? Because there were just key areas of the body that were struggling with rotation. But more so why I knew it from birth is because I'd work on it and then her body would revert back to the stiffness or back to the just lack of rotational movements in key areas. So I've really got here on this leg, the side of her back, and then she gets heavy here in the back of her head, okay? But it keeps coming back. And so good thing is with movement lesson is she's getting that input, right? So if you come in, if you look at this leg, I can come in. Who's there, baby? I can come in and just rotate that leg a little bit more. And I can just get nice movement out of this leg. We can go any direction. And so now if I come to this leg, and I've been working on it, like, you're kicking me, babe. Like, it's just not moving. Like, yeah, I'm kind of getting a movement there, but I can't do very much. I can do it if I go a little bit slow, but she's super stiff here. And I've been working with her for an hour. This is probably the stiffest that I've felt it since working on her with the stiffness coming back. She's just really, really engaged. And this is going to make it impossible for her to even try and roll over. When you're rolling over, your ankle should be able to swoop. And see how I just got this whole leg. It's really nice and fluid. This, I've got the whole leg, same gentle movements. And you can just see the lack of response to my touch. She's moving, but even just how she feels in my hand, I can feel she's very, very engaged. And so while, yeah, I'm frustrated, sure, she's not rolling over yet. At the same time, like, I can understand why, but I also have something to talk with my pediatrician about, okay, being like, hey, like, she continually is stiff. She's not rolling over. Granted, they're going to say, oh, at 4 months old, she still has time to figure that out. She's not going to figure that out with this leg and the back as stiff as it is. And then it's this arm that gets really tight. Now this I was able to work on, and she actually has really good rotation now in both wrists. This morning, this was really engaged. And now I can move it well. It's just as engaged as this foot. But with that tightness continually coming back, so the milestone momentum is going to be really hard for her. Now, what's really awesome with the movement lesson is she's still getting the experience of milestone momentum, the experience of rolling over, even though she's not doing it. That's what I'm giving her body the experience of as we do the rotational touch and as we work on these key areas of the body. She's getting successful rolling over. She's getting successful tummy time. And so no amount of awareness would help her figure this out, okay? I'm actually teaching her body rotational movements. And unfortunately, yes, they still are tightening up, but at the same time, for a moment, she was getting good rotational movement in her body. Right now it's her wrist and her back, and I'm working on the ankle. And it's okay if it goes back tight, but that's why you have to do movement lesson every day to maintain your child's milestone momentum, because that's what a typical child would do, is they play with it every day. And so you see my baby moving and doing things, and she is playing with rotational movements, but she can't play with rotational movements here. And so that's where I'm coming in and manually allowing that play to happen. You can say, oh, she's moving, it's difficult, I don't know what to do. Worst case scenario, this is where you can move your body back and forth, place your hands in a position, and just as your body goes back and forth, just let your hands naturally move. And that will help you know a more natural rotation to be offering when you're not moving as much with your body. You still want to move a little bit because you want to create those own counters in your system, but that will at least give you an idea of like, okay, this is what I need to do. You can see that, how I'm countering. And then as I come in here and work finer detail, I'm still making those same movements with my hands, but it's very small and you can't even hardly notice it. Now, when she's playing, sometimes I'll just go slow back and forth like this to help with the movement because she's moving and she wants to play. That's something to just keep in mind as you're doing movement lesson. You're really offering milestone momentum to your child, teaching it to them. And so we'll meet again in the next video. Make sure you join me on the support program so that you can join me in my live videos that I do working on my kids, my live sessions that I have while working on my kids. I know it's hard to do movement lesson by yourself sometimes. And so that's why on the support program, you actually will you're getting a special link of when I'm working on my kids. And I, have at least a decent half hour where I'm working on my kids and I'm just doing movement lesson. This is a great time for you to stop what you're doing and just do movement lesson with me. Come practice, have someone to talk to while you're trying to do the movement lesson. And ask questions. It's a great time for questions, but you don't even have to have questions. It's just, hey, I want someone to do movement lesson with, and you can come join me. But you only get access to the link if you're in a support program. So make sure you join the support program and you will get a huge variety of me. I'm working on all my kids. And if you need a kid specifically, if I can arrange it, I'll snag them during the session and work with that. Have a great day.